Hello and welcome. We have an intruder, unfortunately, but hopefully it won't be too much of a nuisance. This is my Frenchie, Vinnie. He's 4. Today is a traditional podcast episode, my first one. My name's Marie. This is my yarn journey. Vinnie, you are a bit of a distraction. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about today is what I'm wearing now. You probably can't really see it because we have a dog in the way, but this is the Tolsta tee, the fingering weight version, and I've made this with a Lay family mini box, the spring countdown to Valentine's box that I got. Now, I can't say that I came up with the idea because it was my friend Mona who made the suggestion to use all the minis to make a striped top, and I thought fantastic, because sometimes when you get loads of minis like Advents and stuff like that, you want to make a wearable garment from them, but sometimes it's like, oh, let's make socks, or let's put it in a scrappy blanket, and I wanted to try and do something more, and I think this garment really does do that. Now, it's not what I traditionally go for in colours. It's a bit outside my comfort zone, but I think it's turned out lovely with all the spring coloured stripes. It's a really, really light garment. Now, I did have a few issues with making this. The gauge was off. I'm quite a tight knitter compared to quite a lot of designers, so I do find that I did find with this one that I didn't gauge swatch with it being minis and stuff, so that was my mistake, but the gauge was quite a bit different. So when I got to the point where I was supposed to be splitting for the sleeves, I could tell it wasn't the right, so I checked my gauge and I just did a few calculations and kind of fudged it and went up a couple of sizes to make sure that the body was right. Now, I was a bit concerned with the sleeves. I knew I wanted to do a cap sleeve, but I was a bit worried that it wasn't going to fit because it was very tight pre-blocking. After blocking, this yarn is very, very stretchy. It's a superwash, a sock yarn, and it has been very forgiving, especially on the sleeves, and it's got a lovely drape now that it's been blocked, so I'm really pleased, and it's so light and floaty that I think I'm really going to get quite a bit of use out of it during the spring and autumn. Maybe not when it's roasting hot, but yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. My second finished object is these socks, and these were made, these are just a vanilla sock that my lovely wool swap friend has talked me through doing, because it's toe up. It's my first pair of toe up socks, and I've used minis from Blue Fern Yarns. Mystery Landscape Minis is her club this year, so I thought they were a fade, so I followed them through, but I just used the first colour for the toe and the cuff. I've just done 1 by 1 rib throughout, and these are really nice. They do look an odd shape when they're off, but they do fit, I promise. But these colours are stunning, and what I'm hoping to do is order some more of these two colours for definite to make a full garment, because I absolutely adore them. This one I'm hoping to make Laura Penrose's cardigan that she's about to release. I can't remember the name of it, but that's my second finished object. I'll just chuck them down there. And my third finished object, because I am trying to get stuff done that have been languishing around, is this top, which I started last summer, and this is a pattern by Veronica Lindberg, and I've done it in Sanders Garn, Mandin Petite, is it? I'll just check what colours that was. Yeah, Mandarin Petite, and I held it double. She has a tutorial on her channel for this pattern. It's the Lola top, and it was so easy to follow her tutorial and knit it up. Now I did this last summer, but for some reason I just didn't get it finished, and I needed to just do the armbands, which I did last week. And yeah, I'm really pleased that's finished now, because that will be a good one for summer. Now I need to talk about my whips, which is, which one should I talk about first? Right, okay. So another one of my languishing whips is this pair of socks for my partner. This is done in opal yarn, and I think the colour for this is Western Swing. And I finished that sock absolutely ages ago, and I don't know why I've not got these finished, but I'm about to, I think I've got about 5 rows to do, and then I will be doing the decreases. I've done them on magic loop. Since doing these, I have decided that doing socks 2 at a time is better for me, because I just get bored otherwise and don't get them finished. But I keep saying these will be finished today, they'll be finished today, and then they don't. But hopefully I'm going to force myself to get that done tonight, because I have cast on a new pair of socks. Okay, and this is the yarn. It's just when you come to that second sock, it's like I feel like I'm knitting the same thing again. I think like the same garment, and it just seems so I don't know, it's like sleeves, isn't it? I suppose Sleeve Island. Okay, now this has been my main working project this last week. I think I cast it on just over a week ago. And for this project I am making the staple tee, and I'll put up an image so you know what I'm talking about. And I'm using BC Garn BioBalance. This is 55% wool and 45% cotton. It's lovely to knit with. A little on the dry side, but still lovely to work with, and it blocks lovely as well. Now this yarn just seems to be going on forever and a day. I just can't believe it, because they do say that they are 50 gram balls, and it's 250 gram skein, sorry, and it's 225 meters per skein. But I'll show you what I've done, and I'm still working through. Now where's the front? Okay, that's the front. It's a lovely colour, this, like a dusty rose. What is the colour called? It says 07 on there. I think it's called Rust. I did try this on last night, and it fits me lovely, and I'm excited to see it finished. As you can see, I've just split the sleeves, and I'm working my way through the body. This is the point at which I get bored in a project, unfortunately, so you won't let me just show you what I've got left. This is, I'd had Tamwa in this one. This is what's left of my second skein. I've still got another 4 skeins, but when I bought this yarn I didn't have a project in mind, so I didn't know how much I'd need, but yeah, so when I get to the end of this skein, I'm thinking that I will then do the sleeves on this one. And the good thing about this pattern is, like I had the issue with the Tolsta tee, I was off gauge quite a way. With this staple tee, you can knit it at any gauge, and then you just punch in your numbers, and it then tells you what your stitch counts are, all your numbers throughout the pattern, all your increases. It's all generated in the pattern for your gauge. So that means that you can find a fabric that you're happy with the yarn you have, and then knit this t-shirt, which I think is quite good. Although I don't know whether I'm going to be happy with the collar, because it seems at the moment it's not been blocked, but it does seem as though it's quite raised and quite thick compared to the body, so I'm wondering if it will lay flat when you're wearing it or not. The easy way around that is just to do a standard ribbing. You know, you could do whatever colour you wanted to, but I thought I'd just do it totally to pattern and then see what it turns out like. And then I've got because I'm trying to find the perfect fit t-shirt, because it seems quite difficult. I've got a Tolsta tee, the original, which is DK weight, which I can't remember what yarn. I use the drops bell for that one, and that fits me lovely. But only having been back knitting for a year is, you know, learning the importance of being on gauge. Oh, this bag that I've got my project in, this is a lovely velvet bag. It's absolutely massive, and it's actually from a cafe in Ambleside, and it's the cafe owner's wife who makes these, and I went recently and picked up this. Okay, so the last project that I want to talk about today is the socks. Now, if you've watched my previous video, my Ravelry queue, I mentioned these socks, and I'll just bring up the information. So these are the Dolci Baci socks by Tuff City Knits, and I'll put a picture on the screen again so that you can see them. I have talked about it, but I'm doing them, I just cast these on yesterday, and I'm taking part in a Kal, and if you look on my Instagram you'll be able to see what Kal I'm taking part in. Now I'm doing them 2 at a time, as you can see, and I'll show you the yarns. So this is West Yorkshire Spinners Night Sky. And I've got For the Love of Yarn in this beautiful colour, which was from my advent calendar. That's merino sock, and like I say, I'm doing them 2 at a time. It's great when you do socks 2 at a time and you just get to the end and they're just done and you have a pair of socks. It's so good. It's a little bit more fiddly at times throughout the process, and I would say it's not as quick, but to have the finished pair at the end, it's worth it for me. I'm doing these on a 2.5 because it is colour work and I'm quite a tight knitter, so I thought it would be better to do that, and I've only done a few rows there. Hopefully by the time I do the next podcast I will have more done. And these are in my latest Willoughby bag. Absolutely adore her bag, and I'll put her details in the description box if you want to go and have a look, but fits perfectly in this. And that's all the projects I wanted to talk about today, because my others I've not worked on. Hopefully when I come back next time I will have made more progress on some of my older whips, because I am trying my best to get through them. Now I have got a few acquisitions which I will just show you now. What should I show you first? Okay, first thing that arrived this week is the 52 weeks of accessories. I've got the 250 week of sock books, both gifts, which was very nice. And when I saw they brought out the accessories book, I just really wanted to get it, because I thought I really want to try my best this year to be using up leftovers and not have lots of scraps and leftovers in my thing. That's why I've got my scrappy blanket, which I do add quite a lot of my leftovers to, trying to use them in socks, trying to make it so that there's not, you know, that big massive pile of leftovers hanging around. And I thought there'll be loads of patterns in here that will help me do that. Now I've just picked out one pattern to show you. There's loads in here. I've not really had a thorough look through it, but there is loads of patterns. This one is one that I thought I'd highlight today, is, if I can cover the other side, is plot twist. by Karen S. Henderson. Now, rather than showing you the page, because the pattern is revealed on this side, what I'll do is I'll just take a photo of the image that's on here and I'll put it on the screen so that you can see. And I just thought it's quite a, it looks like quite a simple pattern, and it does use 3 skeins of linen quill by Pearl Soho. And I was thinking that with it being a shawl stroke scarf, like all these things, they're customizable. You can make them to whatever length you want. So if you've got 1 skein, 1.5, 2 skeins left from a project, you could probably put it into this. And again, that's another way to, or your single sock yarns that we all pick up, that we see at shows and stuff, and we're like, oh yes, that's a pretty skein, I'm getting that, and we don't know what to do with it when we get home. Okay, and the last thing that I want to talk about is some yarn that I have received. I purchased this yarn order mid last year. It's a Kickstarter program, and it is Ula and Leah, and it's Mongolian yarn. And as soon as I saw the Kickstarter project, I thought, oh yes, I want to give this a try, because it's unusual, and all the yarn is and the animals are brushed once a year, and it's the owner of the company goes over to Mongolia, and you see the process and get updates on it throughout. And then once all the yarn's been milled and processed and dyed, it then gets sent out to you, and you get it at a, you know, a significant discount, because you're effectively pre-ordering, but quite a way in advance, and it gives them the funds then to go over and get all the fibres, and that then gives them enough to produce yarn to last them for 12 months, and they do that once a year. So I'll talk you through what I've actually purchased. So I got a few sweater quantities, and then I just got a couple of other single skeins for accessories. This one is dark harbour blue in a fingering weight, and it's 100% camel, and that's 100 gram skein, and it's 393 meters you get in that. Now, I thought these yarns were going to be quite rustic, and I'm not. Some rustic wools I find hard to knit or to wear. I like them to be nice and soft, and surprisingly these aren't at all. This one is for my partner, some sort of accessory. And then I just got 1 skein of the antique ruby fingering, and this is 100% yak, and these are free range yaks. Hope you can see that. Like I say, I use my rear facing camera, so it's difficult to know, but I will pop some pictures on the screen so that you can get a better look. Now, this is natural platinum, and this is a DK weight, and this is the 100% yak again. Now, with this one I have got a project in mind, and I just let me bring it up on my Ravelry and I can get the name right. Hope you can see that. This is exactly the colour that I was expecting with this one. It's lovely, like a real marl, natural marl. The sweater that I'm looking to do with this, and I think it's Cocoa More, is it Cocoa More? Anyway, it was someone on Instagram had posted that they'd done it in a grey colour, and it's the Mudo by the Petite knitter that I'm going to do in this. And I've when I saw this on Instagram, the colour work was done in a coral neon, and then it was this colour for the rest, and I just thought, wow, that looks so nice. And it was actually short sleeved. Now, I've not decided if I'm going to do short sleeve or long sleeve at this point, but I have got enough of this if I want to do the long sleeve, so I'm looking forward to doing that, because it's quite a fun twist on you know, it'll be my first colour work garment, well, sweater. And then I got the Natural Sand DK, which is 100% baby camel. And that is, yeah, DK. And it's 196 meters per 100 grams. Now this one is not the colour I was expecting. I expected this to be a much lighter brown colour. But for this, I'm doing the Field Day cardigan by Ozetta. And I've had that cardigan in my queue for quite some time, so it'll be lovely to get that knitted up. I've not knitted any cardigans yet. And that's that one. And the last thing that I ordered is the Periwinkle in fingering weight, and this one is 85% wool and 15% cashmere. And that's 393 meters per 100 grams of this colour. It's just stunning. But I've not got a project in mind for this one yet. But I have got 4 skeins of this. So if you've got any ideas, pop it down in the comments. Because it's always nice to discover new patterns and get new ideas. Okay, and the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is my bingo card. Giddy Yarns is doing a year-long, what do you call it, knit-along? I'm not really sure. But it's a year-long bingo knitting challenge, I'd say. And I'll just bring my bingo card up on the screen here so that I can read it out to you. And I'll put a photo on the screen because it'll be easier for you to visualise what I'm talking about. It's along the lines of, it's a 9 grid like the Make 9, but it's not. It's your knitting goals for the year on a bingo card, and each time you cross off one of your squares, and then by the end of the year you should complete your bingo card, and then you go in the hat for prizes. And it's really good fun because she's got a Discord where everybody's on there encouraging each other to complete their bingo cards and what they're doing. So I'm just going to talk you through what's on mine, because it will be a running theme throughout the year. Hopefully I can get all these crossed off. One moment, just while I bring it up. Okay, so I have managed to cross off one of my bingo squares, so that's good, but I'll just talk you through what's on there so far. So I've got finish Dwayne's sweater, which is my partner, knit a pair of slippers. Now I did mention before that I have got the 52 weeks of socks volume 1 and 2, and there's a few pairs of slippers in there that look really good. Or I know there was another YouTuber that did a pair of basic slippers, so I've not decided which pair I'm going to do yet. Again, suggestions in the comments would be great. Take part in the winter set knit along. Knit 6 pairs of socks from stash yarn, and that's to use up quite a few of the single skeins that I've got. Use my Alice in Wonderland advent. That was my advent from 2023. Finish last year's blanket make along. Reduce my stash. Now reduce my stash, I think Giddy Yarns is doing a similar thing as well, in that I'm not being super strict on this, but I have decided that I want more out than in, because I have got quite a good stash now, and I've got stuff to be knitting through, sweater quantities that I want to get used, because I like them, I've bought them, and I've got garments in mind. So I'm just tracking it in grams each month, and I'm just doing a tally. So anytime I finish an item, I just weigh it. Any that comes in, I just make a note of that, and at the end of the month I look at the ins and outs. And I've got a little notebook here, and I'll just so in January the only yarn that came in was the Blue Fern Minis, and that's so that was 100 grams in. And then out I did my winter set knit along, which is the one that I've completed. So that was 100 grams out. I did a some fingerless mitts and a headband, and the last little scrap went into my blanket, so I used the full skein. And then I did some stripy socks, which was 50 grams, and I did some scrappy leftover DK socks. I held lots of little scraps of 4-ply double, and that was 100 grams that I used, so I was pretty pleased with that. So my total was 150 down, 150 grams down. Doesn't really seem like much, does it? But I didn't finish many items in January. So in February so far I've done the Lola top, which was 275 grams. I've done the Tolsta tee, this one, which was 208 grams, and then I've done those blue fern socks I just showed you, which was 100 grams. And to finish, unfortunately, to finish my Lola top, I did actually need to buy another 50 gram ball of the in petite, and so that was 50 grams in. And I also bought a especially for you Valentine's set, which had 120 grams of yarn in. I've not got that here to show you. So so far my in is 170 grams for February, and I'm hoping there won't be any more, and out is 585 grams, so I'm definitely doing a bit better this month, and hopefully I'll have a few. If I get the socks finished for my partner, then I'll have even more out. So that's the way that I'm tracking it, and I'm just keeping a tally in my notebook, and then it's just dead simple. Don't have to think about it. Oh, and just to say that this yarn, because it was bought last year, isn't included, and because to me that was already part of my stash before I went into this year, and I'd already bought it last year. Okay, use as many leftovers as possible, which I've done the scrappy socks, so I'd say that that's good, but it's something that's going to be a running thing throughout the year. And then complete or frog all whips started in 2023. I'm terrible for starting stuff, getting to the joining in the round and the stockinette, and then I get bored and I end up putting them away, and I don't want to have lots of piles of languishing whips. So yeah, if I don't complete them, they need to be frogged. But I think most of them will get done. I've made a good start on that with what I've got there. So who else is taking part in the bingo, the Giddy Yarns bingo challenge? I think it's great fun, and it does really encourage you to, you know, think about what you want to do for the year, and you know, a good way to make progress on it. Anyways, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about today, so I hope you've enjoyed the video, and see you next time. Bye.